Hello, everyone. Welcome to the FutureDDS Dental School Experience series, where we help you decide which dental school is right for you. Now, every dental school is unique and will provide you with a different experience. And we thought to ourselves, who's better to really explain to you what a school has to offer than a student who actually goes there? Our goal in this series is to give you a firsthand perspective of every dental program in America and ultimately help you make the right decision. So today we'll be showcasing Adriana Mediavilla, who is a D1 at NYU College of Dentistry. How are you doing today, Adriana?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. First and foremost, we want to say thank you so much for giving us some of your time. We know you are a busy dental student, and so we really do appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. My pleasure.
No problem at all. So, Adriana, can you kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, where you went to undergrad, and why you chose dentistry?
Okay, so I'm from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. My family's from Puerto Rico. And my journey, I went to undergrad at Binghamton University, and it's also a very, very big school. So before that, I always did really, really well in school. And when I got to Binghamton, I kind of got lost like in the cracks a little bit. It was a huge school. And I miss my family a lot because I've always done everything with them. So I would travel back and forth every weekend, and I really didn't do as well as I should have. Towards the end, I had some issues like back at home, so I was back and forth. Long story short, I majored in chemistry, minored in economics, and I did terrible.
That's fine. I mean, it happens.
Yeah, I wanted to, at the time, I thought I wanted to be a medical examiner. I also realized that that wasn't for me.
Right.
And I started working as a waitress, like towards the end of my time at Binghamton. And I just stood waitressing. I kind of like lost track of what I wanted to do, what my dreams were. I guess I was like discouraged because I didn't do well. And now in retrospect, I know that Binghamton's a very difficult school, so I don't feel as bad, and I still got to where I needed to. But at the time, it was very, very devastating.
Right.
I actually I waitressed since I was 18, but once I finished at Binghamton, I started to waitress, and I just completely forgot that I even had a chemistry degree.
Right.
And one of my regulars, like after a year out of school, was like, "What are you still doing here? Like, you have a chemistry degree and you have like people being like demeaning to you, talking down to you." Right. And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, I'm making good money." "You're making good money." "No, you're not."
It's all relative, right? It's all relative.
Yeah, so he's like, he is an optometrist. He's like, you were always interested in the medical field. Like, you're a woman, you're smart. Look into dentistry. And I've always been really active in my community, and like thinking in the moment, I was like, wow, like there is a need. That's something that I would be interested in. I love like working with families and with kids. So I started shadowing, and then it was like history. I went to take prerequisites at York. Mind you, at Binghamton, I had a 2.8, I think, GPA.
Okay.
At York, I ended up with a 4.0. I got a second degree in biology. Then I knew that with another bachelor's, like I wasn't going to get into dental school. So I got my master's at Rutgers. Mm-hmm. And then during my second semester, because the master's program, there's 3 semesters. Mm-hmm. So during my second semester, I worked full time. I took the DAT, and I was still studying. And I was able to do well in the DAT. I got a 3.5, I think, at Rutgers. And I applied to, I think, like maybe 6 schools. Mm-hmm. And I got into the University of Maryland at Baltimore and NYU. And I got scholarships for both.
Congratulations.
So not all is lost.
Right. It's interesting, right? Because like a lot of people, like you said, do get discouraged, and it's like, we're always talking about on our channel, like you always can like go a different route. You don't have to go that traditional straight out of college from undergrad straight to dental school. And a lot of people don't really believe us when we tell them. But I mean, you're you're a great example of what you can do as long as you're focused, you know? So that's awesome. So I do want to ask you something, because it's funny. A lot of our students, I guess it's just like the Northeast region, they went to Rutgers also. And I want to ask you, like, did you feel like those classes prepared you for dental school?
Absolutely. I mean, I took classes within the dental school because they allow you to for the master's program. If anything, they were more difficult because at Rutgers, their exams are like written exams. Some of them, not all of them. And at NYU, everything's like exam solved, multiple choice.
Yeah, same.
So I would say that I needed it because undergrad is not the same. You know, undergrad is very straightforward. So it was the perfect transition after being outside of school and, you know, just in another world to be able to adjust and say, okay, yes, I'm going to commit to doing this.
Right.
I think Rutgers is great. I mean, it's such a fast program that you don't really get to meet people and kind of, you know, be a part of that community, but it's definitely worth it. I know at least 20 people probably at NYU that did the Rutgers program first.
And I know like maybe like 13 or 14 here at Tufts. So obviously it works, y'all, audience. So if you are looking for a master's program, definitely check out Rutgers. But okay, Adriana, so you said that you got into Maryland and you got into New York. So I kind of want to ask you, like, what made you want to go to New York over Maryland or any other school? And I mean, I know you're big on family, so of course, I'm sure that's one of the reasons, but kind of tell us some of the other things that kind of swayed your decision.
Well, when you're there, they give you the whole money breakdown. And for a lot of people, they just see like the tuition and they'll say, oh, like that's a smart decision. And I actually like, we're not like friends, but Dr. Rubenstein, like we talk back and forth sometimes. And he was the one that told me, he said, you're going to be in dental school for 4 years and it's hard. Go where you're going to be happy. You know, go where you're going to make friends, where when you have bad days, you're going to find a place to just blow off steam. And in reality, like I'm sure there's some schools where the price difference is major, but if you calculate living expenses and food and, you know, going out and everything, it was going to be very close. So money, and then I got a scholarship at NYU, and they gave me one at Maryland, but since it's a state school, it wasn't like much.
Right.
So I would say that. I mean, as far as the facilities, Maryland was really nice, but for me, it was just more about comfort. Like if I'm going to be stressed for the next 4 years, I'd rather be stressed like in paradise than, you know, than a place where I'm not happy.
Right. And that makes sense because you're going to be stressed. I know you're a D1 right now, but D2, I don't know if it's the same at NYU. Dude, like what year is supposedly like the hardest year for y'all?
D2. Yeah. We have the most
labs. I think it's rough for everybody. You know, I think it's rough for everybody. So it makes sense why you made that decision. But so now I kind of want to go back to your actual interview day. Can you kind of walk us through like the process of the actual interview? Like, was it like group setting or was it more one-on-one with the faculty?
No, it was one-on-one for both. For Maryland, it was with a student and a professor or staff. And then I also met with like one of the diversity like persons from the staff because they want to diversify the school more. Since I'm Spanish speaking, they wanted me to know that it was going to be a home, that there was like a group for me, that I wasn't going to feel uncomfortable, which I thought was great. Everyone was super nice. As far as the interview, for Maryland, I would say it was a little more difficult. They asked me questions about things that I've done, things on my resume. At NYU, it was like a breeze. I hate to say.
Yeah, it always sounds kind of weird, but I mean, it's a good thing, right? I think it's
I hate to say, but they were like, if we accept you, are you going to come here? And I was just like, yes. And I would say that's my number one tip because Maryland asked me the same thing. If we accept you, are you going to come here? One of my friends said, she was like, well, if they accept me at like New York, I prefer to stay in New York. And she said this in like, I don't know, Tennessee or something like that. And they didn't accept her. They didn't accept her. And she had like amazing DAT scores, amazing grades, everything, like perfect candidate. But she said no. And that's what they want to hear. They were like, oh, they asked me, what do you like about Maryland? And I'm like, oh, I love like the aquarium. They're like, no, not the But they like that I was like enthusiastic about their like town, their neighborhood. It was, I would say you just have to be confident. Okay. Everything that they asked me, I knew immediately how to respond. And at Maryland, the professor, she wasn't really paying attention, like she's on her computer, but I like kept looking at them and just trying to make them laugh, trying to make them feel comfortable, because it seemed like they tried to make it an uncomfortable setting. But
right. You have to show that you're like personable. You know, nobody wants a dentist who can't speak to people. That's not good. That's not good. But okay, so obviously the interview went well. You're in dental school now. Can you kind of talk about that transition period? Like, did you all have an orientation week, or did they kind of just like throw you all into the fire?
I believe it was a week, or if not a little bit over a week. And we got to meet everyone. What I forgot to mention is that even though NYU is a class of almost 400, we're broken up into group practices. Mm-hmm. So in my group practice, there's only 26 of us. So that orientation week, we got to meet everyone in our group practice, as well as our group practice director.
Oh, okay.
So also for people like that are scared because NYU is such a big class, they make it really small. Like the lectures are all together, but when we go to bench lab and when we have like advisory meetings and stuff, it's just that group, and we all know each other. We're very close. So during the orientation week, we got to meet each other, do exercises, icebreakers, happy hours with our group practice director. We had like short little like CPR classes, like short kind of introductory courses, where it allowed us to mingle and to actually get to know each other, so that when we started, we already kind of had like our little group where you walked into class and you're like, hey, you know, you don't feel like you're walking into a lecture hall, 400 people, and you don't know anyone.
Okay, so quick random question. Do you know everybody now as far as like the whole 400, or you still don't know some of the people?
I meet people every day. I'm like, oh, I'm a D1. They're like, yeah, me too. And I was just like, oh, great.
400's a lot. That's a lot. But no, I think that a lot of people were nervous hearing that 400 number. So the fact that they do break it down to different like subclasses, like group practices, you said, I think that's huge, and I think that's gonna relieve a lot of people of some stress that they feel when it comes to NYU. Definitely.
Yeah, even during the orientation, we meet D1s, D2s, D3s, D4s in the same group practice.
Okay.
So it makes it even smaller, because it's not like, oh, you only know the D1s that are in your group practice. No, you know all the people in your group practice.
So do y'all have like that family type of situation where like you have do y'all have that or no?
They offer it, but it's not required.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a mentor, peer mentor.
Okay, great. All right, so you are now a D1. Can you kind of give us a day in the life of a D1 at NYU? I know our viewers love to hear like they even like to hear the schedule. So like, what time do you wake up to get to class? You know, like all of that, all of the intricacies.
Yeah. The days are long, and especially for me, since I commute, it takes me about an hour to get there and about an hour to get back home. So a lot of people will say, oh, you know, you should move closer because you're losing 2 hours every day. But I say, but I don't lose time cooking or washing clothes or going food shopping, because obviously my family helps me. But sometimes we have to be there at 7. So I'll have to leave my house at 6. So I have to wake up at 5. So once a month or sometimes twice a month, I have to be there at 7. Then we usually have lecture, whether it be like neuroscience, histology. We have like an ethics course, organ systems. That'll be from like 8 to about 12. Then the entire school has like a lunch break from like 12 to like 1 or 1:30. the start and end time is a little bit different, but that's like the lunch time for everyone. And then usually again, we'll have class from like 1 or something like that, 1:30, on our longest days till about 4 or 5. Okay. And then after that, I usually go to the library because it's super difficult to leave at that time as far as like traffic or if I'm taking the train. So I'll stay till about 6:37 and then get home like 8, 9.
Then you're done, like, right? Or do you still study after that?
I mean, if there's no exams, you're done, but
there's always an exam, right?
You're never done.
Right.
But usually what I do, and I can send it to you, you can attach it somewhere. I make a schedule for like every hour. Like, all right, I have 30 minutes in between these 2 classes. I'm going to do flashcards. And people are like, how do you stick to that? Like, this is crazy. But for me, it's like, it gives me like some discipline. Like, I'm like, all right, I have to get through this today. You know, and then if I don't get through it, then I can move it to the next day. But I also see, all right, I still have to go over like 10 lectures. I'm behind, you know?
Okay. So that kind of like is a good little segue into my next question, because like obviously in dental school, in order to be successful, and especially in order to do other things outside of dental school, you have to be like extremely calculated, right? But I think that there's also like a lot of pressure. And so I kind of just want to ask you, like, how do you like maintain your like mental sanity throughout all the craziness that is dental school? Like, is it your family? Do you like to like work out? Like, what's that thing that you do?
I would say what I miss the most is working out. It's hard. It's hard to find time to do everything. But the schedule helps. Like when I make a schedule, it makes me happy that I'm like, oh, wow, by like Saturday, I'm going to be done with everything. And now I can go watch a movie. Right. Now it's like a reward. Right. So making that schedule, it's like, okay, I have to go through all of this, but now Wednesday night after the exam, I'm actually going to be free because I'm not going to be catching up for the next exam. You know?
And that makes sense.
Yeah, one of my advisors, she told me like your best tool and like your best advantage is to know like what else you have to do, because after an exam, people are like, oh man, like I don't, your brain is like fried. You're like, what else do I do? But if I have the schedule, I can like maintain a little bit of sanity and be like, all right, no, I only have this much left. Right. If I can stick to my schedule, then for the most part, I would say, I get to go out a lot, if I stick to it. If not, then, if you're not on top of it, it's so easy to fall behind.
Right. Very quickly. I think a lot of people don't understand that, like, we get these PowerPoints that are like 100 slides, but each day. So if you're not consistently on it, you will, like you said, fall behind and stress out.
Every lecture for us is 2 lectures. So it's not like, today we're just doing, I don't know, like cranial nerve, like 1 through 4 or something. It's like, no, the first hour we're doing 1 through 4, and then the second hour we're doing everything else,
That's a lot.
So it's a lot. But I think that with balance, like you're able to go to the gym. Yeah. For me, it's difficult because the gym is a little bit further. But if you live close to your school, I know a lot of people that go to the gym every single day, and it's a great like stress reliever. I reward myself with that sometimes, but I'm not as consistent as I'd like to be.
Okay. All right, great. So say somebody has listened to this interview so far and they're like, you know what, Adriana has shown me that NYU is the school I want to go to. What's something that you would tell them to make sure that they had on their application, whether it be, make sure you just focus on your DAT or, make sure you have a lot of community service hours. Like, what's one of those things that NYU really does show favor towards?
I would say that everybody who applies to dental school is smart. Everyone is very intelligent. Everyone has good grades. People get 30s on the DAT. Yeah. So what makes you different? I didn't get a 30 on the DAT. There were people who had 4.0s at Rutgers. I didn't have a 4.0 at Rutgers. But like I have my own community service event that I do for Christmas time for children that are like from foster homes. I have like this big event where they get gifts and everything. And that set me apart, that I was very, very active in my community as like a mentor. did like soup kitchens and all that stuff, that I was a person. You have to be a person.
Right.
Because you're treating people, and you have to be able to relate. You have to be able to be the same person as they are, and that's what they want. They don't want robots that can spit out information to you, because when you spit out information to a patient, they're gonna have no idea what you're talking
I don't know what you're talking about at all. At all.
Exactly. So I think that your first priority in everything in life is that you have to be a person. You have to be able to smile, and like that person has to feel that you're being genuine, because we're all smart. That's why we're here. That's why I made it. So I would say not necessarily community service, but something that where you engage with other people that shows that, you're going to carry the school's name and make them proud,
So, yep, everybody, just like Adriana said, like literally, like I'm sure we both know people who had the GPA and the DAT and, didn't get in, unfortunately. So make sure that you stand out, because like she said again, you're going to be treating patients, so you need to be personable. But on that topic, clinic. When are you going to start clinic? I mean, like, are you already in clinic? Do y'all have to assist now, or does NYU make you wait until third year in order to get in there?
So at the end of the second year, you start at the clinics, but I already assist. And it's your choice, which is also great that during orientation week, we were able to mingle, because I met a lot of like D3s and D4s. And I just text them, I'm like, hey, like, is there anything interesting that you're going to see? I saw my first extraction like a couple weeks ago, and the D4 is like, oh, go get me an ice pack. And I'm like, for me, right?
You get a little woozy.
And it's not like, it wasn't the blood. It wasn't, it was just like, wow.
Right. This is addiction. This is the real truth coming out of this man's mouth.
Exactly. But I'm very lucky. Our group practice director, which is the one that's in charge of us in the clinic, he's great. Like he comes to happy hours with us and everything. And it seems like D3s and D4s have a great experience with him. He also gives a lot of trust to them. Like they've done extractions, they've done implants, they've done like they assist in like surgeries and stuff like that. Like I know some schools won't really let you do certain things.
Right.
And there hasn't been too many things that I've heard that they can't do.
Okay. So are y'all even drilling yet, or?
Yeah, we are. And like in the bench lab.
Right. Okay. So yeah, we call it pre-clin. So bench lab. Okay, got it.
Oh, because you're talking about clinic.
Yeah.
Pre-clin.
Okay, so it makes sense. I'm just like, hold on.
No. Yeah, we call it like, it's GDS, but it's bench lab.
Okay.
For us, yeah, we
and
are.
So is
Class
do you
one.
have seats for all 400 students, or?
No, we do it with the group practice. So
okay, cool.
3 different group practice at a time.
Okay, so just to get it straight, so all the didactic classes, all 400 students are in those together.
Right.
But when y'all do the bench lab, pre-clin, whatever it may be, y'all are broken up into your group practices.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Got it.
Sorry.
All right. No, you're good. I'm sure you explained it. I needed that clarification. I'm just like, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
But yeah, we've done fillings at like preps and filled class 1 through class 5. We have like practicals now.
Do you know if y'all are going to be working with amalgam?
Yeah, we've done amalgam and composite, both.
Okay, cool. Like I heard some schools don't even deal with amalgam anymore, because like the real world amalgam's kind of like going out, and it's more just always like composite,
No, we have to do both.
Do both. Okay, cool. All right, so now I kind of want you to tell us about like a unique experience that you've had at your school. And I want this experience to kind of like have you like have this like recollection moment where you're like, you know what, this is why I came to NYU, this moment right here. Whether it be a friend you met who helped you with X, or a professor helped you with this assignment, whatever it may be. Like, I just want to hear one of those unique stories that really made you appreciate the fact that you were at NYU.
I would say, there's been many moments, but what I really, really appreciate is Dr. Mejia. She's the admissions director. She knows me by name, and every time she sees me, she's like, "You're doing well, right? Like, how are your classes going? You're like staying on top. What was your grade for this exam?" And like, even though she knows she can look it up and everything,
Right.
there's so many students that she's really on top of, and it's like, wow, there's 400 students here, and you remember me, and not just me, because she remembers a lot of people, but to have that relationship, it's really nice. As far as picking NYU and being happy that I'm there. As far as dentistry in general, I would say there's two parts. One is outreach, because we have to do outreach, but when I actually attended, it was amazing. It was in a school, and they were special needs students, and they were so excited, and we saw a great need, and it's very unfortunate. And obviously that's something that's near and dear to me. And it's just like, wow, like I can actually, people make it seem like, oh, you're a dentist to make money. And it's like, no, I can actually help people.
Right. That's the main reason why we do it.
Exactly. But, unfortunately, there's still that stereotype to the name. And for me to see like, wow, no, I'm actually going to make a difference is amazing. To see how happy the students were to see us there, and not only as a healthcare provider that can help them, but also as like a role model. And then I would say after that would be like the first time I filled my first prep, and I was like, wow, I'm actually good at this.
I'm a dentist now, right?
I'm like, okay, like maybe I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah, definitely. Those are always great moments. But okay, Adriana, I want to ask you to give our audience one last piece of advice. It doesn't even have to be for somebody who is applying to NYU, but just somebody who's applying in general or who wants to become a dentist. Like, what's that one piece of gold that you would give to them?
I would say I'm the perfect example of like not giving up. There's so many hurdles that you have to get through to get to this point. And then once you get to this point, there's even more hurdles. I would say don't give up, because look, like people tell you, oh, you can't fail a class. You're never going to become a dentist. I failed a class. I failed calculus 2 in undergrad. Don't give up. And then once you get here, it's still going to be difficult. Don't give up. I've had people in like instructors in my bench lab, like, this is terrible. Like, and I'm just like, okay, like, but how can I fix it? I don't know. You figure it out. And it's just like, okay. So I watch YouTube videos, like, don't give up. You're here because you worked hard. You're in any position because you worked hard. Don't let anyone take that away from you, and just figure out how to keep moving.
Great words. Thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind, I know some of our viewers are going to want to reach out to you and really ask you more questions about NYU and just your journey in general. Is there any contact information you can give to them so they can reach out?
Yeah, absolutely. They can definitely email me amediavilla8@gmail.com if you want to add it somewhere.
Yeah, I'll add it in the description below. But once again, Adriana, on behalf of FutureDDS and all of our subscribers, we want to say thank you so much. You're doing a great job. You're providing an excellent example, and we really do appreciate that you took the time out today to speak with us. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your very, very hectic life to reach out to students. I'm sure there's so many people out there that need that extra push, and hopefully this does it.
I'm sure it will. Everybody, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button on this video. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know whenever we post new content. But until next time, see y'all later.